Hey everyone, it's Zach back with a new mortgage video. Hope you're all having a happy Monday. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, where I'll try to demystify all things mortgage related. If you find this content helpful, please like and subscribe. So for this Monday mortgage market update, I'll talk a little bit about last week and what was notable, and this week what's on the horizon that could affect mortgage rates, and why the hard data still seems to be being taken with a grain of salt. So last week there weren't a whole lot of significant reports. The thing that has been moving mortgage rates lately has been reports like consumer confidence and consumer sentiment. We actually had a couple reports like that come in better than expected last week, which was a positive thing. And that was likely as a result of the pauses of tariffs against China. And then on Friday, we had the Fed's preferred method for inflation, personal consumption expenditures, or PCE. That came in better than expected on both the headline and core numbers, and yet mortgage rates didn't really move that much. And it underscores what has been a recent trend, which I've talked about a lot, which is that the hard data is really getting taken with a grain of salt while tariff talks are still ongoing. Until we get some stability of these are the final tariffs, they're not going to change, it's still kind of a moving target that we're working with. And what happened a month ago is kind of not important. However, so far it seems to be jobs data is having more of an effect than inflation data. And granted, we've only had 1 month of the job reports that are coming out this week, but those did seem to still move the needle. And my take on why that is that inflation, it takes sometimes many months before policy changes catch up with certain facets of inflation, especially things like shelter. It can take even longer. Whereas policy changes can have an immediate impact on hiring practices, which will play into the data that's coming out this week. So let's talk about the reports this week. We've got ADP employment on Wednesday, and then on Friday we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate. Now, based on the last week of initial jobless claims, maybe unemployment rate may rise a little bit, but most likely I would expect it'll stay the same, and that's what the market is projecting, to stay at 4.2%. So the two job reports, which both will give us an idea of the availability of jobs right now, are going to be the most important. Now, ADP measures private employers. That number last month was much lower than expected at 62,000. Right now, it's projected to be 112,000, which is still lower than it's been at some of the hottest parts, but that would still show a pretty strong private job market. Non-farm payroll came in last month at 177,000, which is a pretty solid number, also not as high as it's been, but showing strong job growth in the, technically includes government jobs. That specific part has gone down, but it is also publicly traded companies. So that number is expected to go down to 125,000. So I would expect, if the markets are truly focused on jobs as an immediate indicator of what's going on with tariffs, if those numbers come in lower than expected, that'll be good for mortgage rates. If they come in higher than expected, then that would be negative for mortgage rates, showing a strong job market. And as always, if there's any dramatic change in tariffs, then that's going to almost certainly have an effect. Also, comments. Late last week, we had some comments from Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Very bearish comments talking about how he foresees a crack in the bond market, which basically means he thinks treasury prices are going to go up. If that happened, mortgage rates would go up. Today, Scott Bessent dismissed those, so those probably cancel each other out, but comments from people like Jamie Dimon, Scott Bessent, Jerome Powell, that has been significant and noteworthy recently as well. But if there's anything else that comes out dramatically outside of the box that moves the needle, I'll definitely shoot some content on that. But seems like the job data this week is going to be the most noteworthy. If you have any questions or comments, shoot them below, or feel free to call, text, or email me. But thanks for tuning in to this one, and I will see you next time.